Welcome back to the Tailoring Talk Magazine movie marathon. We are returning to Mission Impossible 3. This is part 2 of our conversation review and deep dive. John, Alex, how are you both?
I'm very well. I'm very hale, actually. Again, I've looked it up and it means an older man who's feeling very healthy.
Okay, great. Alex, did you
Wow.
bother to look it up since we, parted ways
Since
the
last
first
week.
half of this review?
Yeah.
No, I
Is it a
didn't.
thing?
I'll take John, whatever John says, I'll take it. That's fine.
Trust him too much,
I'm
honestly.
easily led.
You are, exactly. And speaking of easily
Luckily, I don't
led,
have money for a car, otherwise I'd be having an M2 or whatever it is.
right, let's not F around. Let's jump straight back into the action and let's go to Shanghai for the infamous skyscraper leap. Now, after the bridge sequence, I completely forgot what the hell happened in this movie, so I was completely along for the ride, and I completely forgot about the whole Shanghai fulcrum thing. But in this sequence, Ethan has to go and retrieve the rabbit's foot, and so he and the team go to Shanghai in an unsanctioned mission. Well, actually, no, before Shanghai, we should probably talk about his escape from, is it Langley? IMF HQ?
Yeah.
So the bridge sequence has happened, Davian escapes,
Mm.
and then Ethan is captured by the IMF and he's
Well,
brought in.
but when he realizes that Davian's escaped, his first thought is, hold on, he was mentioning about Julia, and he panics, doesn't he? And he realizes, I better phone the hospital and make sure she's okay, and he can't get
Yeah,
hold of
yeah.
her. And there's that cracking sequence of him driving through the traffic in the stolen Mercedes, trying to get to
Yeah.
the hospital and deal with it. So you've got that whole sequence again, which is, another very cool set piece of him driving against the traffic. And again, the panic, you're with him, aren't you? You're panicking with him because we
Yeah.
all know that Julia's gone, don't we? We do. And there's that awesome. At first I thought it was Paul Weller having doing a bit part, but there's this, you know what I mean? The British actor who
Michael
Michael
Berry
Berry
Jr.
Jr. Michael Berry Jr. Who's not, I don't think he's
He
named in
looks,
he's very
he just
weird
looks
looking,
like
isn't
an
he?
absolute, he just looks like a total creep.
A rook, yeah, proper wrong. And he was in Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl as an
He
Irish
was,
sailor.
yeah, he was Twig.
Um, yeah, Twig. So but he's well cast in this because he looks like a really dodgy hospital porter, doesn't he? Really, he's well cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
sorry,
He
sorry
pops
if
up
you're
in
a very
another,
nice normal hospital porter. Sorry, I didn't mean to diss the
he
porters,
pops
but he
up
looks dodgy.
he pops up in Star Trek as well. He's the Romulan tactical officer
Oh yeah,
in J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek movie. And he was also in The Hangover Part 2. He was the Russian
yes.
mobster Vladi. So there we go.
Wow.
He's also a writer for numerous television shows and
Right.
plays, such as Spider-Man and The
Oh,
Rope.
interesting.
Lives in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Was born in Oxford.
Well, there you go. He's kept his
So they,
accent, obviously, but he's good in this film. Just like again,
yeah,
like that, just really, really dark, scary character. So yeah,
yeah,
so
just a
so
proper
Julie's now,
creepo.
he's literally taking her out on this trolley under a sheet, and Tom Cruise helps him through the door and out the door as he comes in to try and find his wife. It's
That's
heartbreaking,
such a
sort of.
Tom Cruise thing to do, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Well, so yeah, then he's panicking, and obviously someone somewhere's shopped him, and now he's being surrounded by the IMF crew. We're all saying sorry, Ethan, we got to take you in, and they
Yeah,
must think he's
and they
rock
sort of,
hard or something, don't they? Because he's wrapped up in like a Hannibal Lecter outfit when he gets inside.
Yeah, they
hmm
go to town on it, don't it?
I mean, they're right. He
yeah,
is.
Quite over the top,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah. But as it turns out, caution was warranted. Um,
Yeah.
Well,
and
we'll talk about
we
that.
we also we didn't talk about this before, but we also get a few more superpowers revealed for Ethan as well, like his ability to lip read. Because
Yeah.
we first see it at the party at the beginning of the movie when the girls are gossiping and what was the name of that lake, and then he sort of turns around from
Wakanda. No,
the
Wanaka.
other side of the house,
Wanaka.
Lake
Yeah.
Wakanda.
No, it's Lake Wanaka. It was I think it's Lake
Wanaka.
Wanaka. It's a favourite holiday location in New Zealand that Cruise used to go to for real. So he used it in the film.
Yeah. And it's in Billy Crudup's character's interest, obviously, to break him out, because this whole thing has been about Ethan from the beginning, because they needed to get that rabbit foot, and obviously the infamous the Langley infiltration thing would be, an infamous story running through the halls of the IMF.
Yeah.
So there was only one agent that was going to be able to pull off getting the rabbit's foot, right? They have got to get into this lab, presumably, where the rabbit's foot is.
In a short amount of time.
Immediately, yeah.
Yep.
But
Remember.
Ethan uses maths to work out how he's
Let's
going to
write some
do
formulas
his
on
big
the wall.
action set
And
piece.
Really confusing formulae on the wall. No one understands except Ethan.
I was like, oh my god, it's like he can lip read
Professor
now,
Hunt.
and he's also a beautiful mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, Ethan Hunt is Stephen Hawking. So
It's a
yeah,
good scene though.
any of us
When he
would have
draws
just
the-
gone,
Yeah, when he draws the actual the outline of the buildings in lined up with the view, and the camera moves to match up the building line out. That's really cool.
with this chalk
Yeah.
pen.
Yeah.
exactly. We love a bit of physics, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, another sequence where you're just. I mean, I don't think I had any nails left by the end of that one. When he slides down that glass roof,
Yeah.
and then just manages to catch himself at the very end. I was thinking, thank God that guardrail wasn't installed by an English builder, because otherwise he was a goner.
That's it.
He'd been all right. He'd have got tangled up in all the fire cladding, wouldn't he, as well? All the
Yeah.
British buildings had cladding on them.
It wouldn't have been straight, so he would have been
No.
fine. He would have
No,
taken
he'd
a
be
couple
alright.
of bits, and then it would have been like, what is this
I mean,
bump in the window? And that
They
would have
they
been
built all
absolutely
those
fine.
buildings. They built them all for the scene. He didn't actually do it on top of the actual buildings in Shanghai. They built them all, but it's again another great technically sound special effects scene to make you believe he's actually there. It's very good.
But he did do the base jump.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it's all done over green screen, but he did the actual jump down on wires, and it was actually Tom Cruise and not a stuntman as well. For most of the film, he did his own scenes. He's a nutter.
Did either of you start to get a little bit irritated by the handheld camera work? Because obviously it was quite persistent through this film, and I just kind of felt it was a
Not really,
bit of a
I
shame
didn't.
in some sequences, because I prefer when I'm watching fight sequences and so on to kind of see it happening and unfolding, and I don't like too much shaky camera movement. I get that it heightens tension. It's
Very Paul
obviously
Greengarth, isn't it? That sort of thing.
yeah,
likes it.
that's
He
right.
likes it in,
It's
the Bourne
an age-old
films.
technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
I
just
suppose
kind of
it's-
was starting to get a little bit tired of it by the final act of the film.
No, it didn't bother me, but it obviously bothered you.
It was quite I mean, it seems obvious, but it's quite an action-heavy film.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of scenes, and particularly because you kind of your blood pressure would go up, and then it would just about calm down, but then it go back up again, and then it just about come down. And so it did. Maybe that's why. It's just because you weren't ready for it.
Yeah,
You need a break.
It
Maybe.
doesn't feel 2 hours and 6 minutes long, the film, does it? The film
No,
that
it
feels
doesn't.
90 minutes long, which is, because of the pace of the film. Yeah, it didn't
Yeah,
bother me.
it
I
rockets
didn't,
along.
I didn't notice them enough to notice them, if that makes sense, Bobby. I felt like it was,
Yeah.
I was fine with that.
And then the final confrontation, which was where he goes to get Julia, and he's also handily got a bloody explosive thing in his brain as well. This is where
Go out with a bang.
it was a kind of mixture of tension, and we were also sort of nervously laughing as well. Because and then I was trying to work out how it works, because doesn't that explosive thing just explode and then disrupt your brain or something? Or if you die, then it doesn't go off? How does it work? I knew you two would have worked it out.
I think when he shocks himself, the shock makes, rather than making it explode, just makes it not send signals to the explosive element of the thing inside it. It's like an EMP. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So it just
that's-
knocks it
yeah,
out.
I think that's what they did. They were kind of assuming that like just a defibrillator
Overloads
is
it.
the same as an EMP, which is quite risky, really, considering there's some form of explosive there. But yeah, so I don't know about that, but there's no point really going too hard into whether it's realistic or not.
It's a MacGuffin, isn't it? And it has got me thinking though. Like, did he when he went back to the IMF and had all that the nice bit at the end, which we'll talk about, where Julia's there and they'll go, "Oh, congratulations." Did he have to have like a sequence where he was under the knife, having that removed from his head before it?
I mean, I
caused
would
more
have assumed
problems?
so, but it would have
How do
probably
you get
gone
down? How do you get in there?
up
Like
his
keyhole
nose.
surgery?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, up his nose. So,
Yeah, up his nose. Yeah, I'm thinking too much. I'm thinking like the old hooks for the old Egyptian mummies. But yeah,
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 or
it didn't bother me that.
Total Recall.
It's a silly MacGuffin that basically it brings him and Julia back together even closer, isn't it? Really, because she's saving his life, and it's a tense scene, and she's a paramedic, so she's. We all know. I mean, we've all done. I have. We've all done first aid and life saving, and 99% of the time, no one comes back from that. It's very unlikely that someone is revived from that situation. So, but always in films that they do, don't they? That's the thing. But it's an interesting scene, and I liked. We haven't really talked about the lighting and the color grading in this film, but I think this is a really attractive looking film, and this sequence at the end really highlights that. The lighting in that room and just what the work they've done with the different colors is really amazing. I thought. J.J. Abrams is for his first directorial debut film. I think this is a very, very strong film for him, and it's come through with just the entire look of the film. And we know the story about Tom Cruise watching, like, binging all of Alias and thinking, I want this man to direct. But I think there's something in that, isn't there?
Yeah.
It
was
makes
a good shot.
Yeah, it's a good shot. So well done to J.J. Abrams, and obviously his director of lighting and so on, but to his DP Dan Mindel, who obviously had a hand in that as well. But I'm very impressed with the look of the film. I don't think it's aged really well. It's
Everything
aged
that
really well, I
JJ
don't
does,
think.
everything that JJ does
Yeah.
looks great. If you look at I mean, just pick any of his films. Super 8, gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great film.
All 3 Star Trek films, whatever you think of them, look
No,
fantastic.
they look great. They do look great. Yeah,
Yeah, The Force Awakens, whatever you think of it, looks
it's a
fantastic.
good looking film. Yeah,
You know, those shots of the Millennium Falcon when Rey first gets
Yeah.
her hands on it with Finn.
Thin, yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing the trailer for The Force Awakens and just seeing the Millennium Falcon soaring in the sky. It just made my heart leap, and it just looks so cool. No, well done to him. And again, completely forgetting it was his first ever feature film, having done so much TV work before. He did a great job. It is a stunning looking movie. It really is, and it deserves to be seen. I'm glad that I saw it on a big screen. Because it deserved it. I think we should just now kind of have a little bit of a palate cleanser. It will be a very short one, but let's go over to the bonkometer. John, over to you. How much time or not was there in this movie?
I'll do the cruise schmooze, and I'll do the cruising with Tom in one go, because I sat down with my phone and I actually wrote down as I watched it properly this time, rather than trying to think back when I saw it. In terms of Bonkathon or the cruise schmooze, well, it happens once, and it happens after they've just got married in the hospital in the little back storage room. But actually, it was I'm not going to go into too much depth because it's a bit seedy, but it was a really joyful scene. I thought it was really, really well handled, and actually really added to the story and added emotional catharsis to when she then gets captured later on. It was, I think, one of the most perfect of the cruise schmoozes in all the films, and heartbreaking as well when you know what happens following films. So well done for including that without making it too, vicious and sordid.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about the sordid reference?
Go on then.
About Kerry Russell.
Oh yeah,
Luther,
that was really
Luther
awkward
says,
when Luther.
Yeah,
says,
Luther.
Yeah.
Oh, the sister thing.
Yeah, because Ethan says she's like my sister.
Like my
and then
sister,
he's like,
man.
Did you ever bang your sister? Like, seriously, dude, come on. But then Luther qualifies it. He qualifies it by saying, if I don't ask it, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
he
good
As
point.
does.
in
He
the
does.
IMF
But
will ask that question.
I
Yeah.
think Kerry Russell was my choice for the movie.
What do you mean? As in, like,
She
Yeah,
was
but
the
you
best
like,
one.
but we know you like blondes though,
I know,
Alex.
I know. That's my weakness.
yeah, no, I mean, Michelle Monaghan,
But
she is beautiful. She's beautiful in this
oh
film.
well, there
Don't
you
tell
go.
me.
Very well
Look,
cast, you know.
look. See, John, Michelle
Everyone's
Monaghan,
happy. Everyone's
Alex,
happy.
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got
that's
Kerry
right.
Russell, and I get
You get Susie Q.
I get Maggie Q.
Yeah,
Susie
Maggie
Q.
Q.
Oh no, I'm thinking of someone else. I always call her Susie Q.
But don't worry, what is
Okay.
this? This is like this is probably episode 209 or 210. Like
Don't know,
Caroline
but
is
we're-
still only on about 30 something. So
Yeah, well.
you know, way back
So I
when,
give
in
you
the
about
old days when I
5
used
more
to
years
do
of
business
happy
interviews.
marriage, Bobby. I'll give you 5 more years, mate.
Yeah, I might just
About 5
delete,
years.
unsubscribe
Right,
her.
I've got to do the
from
cruise
although
schmooze.
she's anyway, whatever. Sorry.
Yeah.
So have you done the schmooze and you've done the cruise?
I've done the
cruise
cruising with Tom. So I've done the schmooze. Let's do the cruise. So his first funny run is on the bridge during the drone attack when he's running towards camera and gets pulled off to the side. He's definitely doing it here. There's one I need to specifically talk about in a second. There's another
But
one.
is
where
he
he's
not doing
escaping-
any running during the? Isn't he running in the warehouse one though?
Let me-
He is running in
well,
the warehouse one.
He is. But
He
doesn't
is.
do-
He does.
He
'Cause
is.
I
But
remember,
listen,
like,
he's
thinking-
not though because he's holding a gun. He can't wave his arms around. So I don't class that as a funny run.
he's-
That's more of a
he's meant to
serious.
He'd be waving his arms a bit,
No,
but he's
no, he's got a
running.
gun.
It's
I
got to
did-
do the
I did
cruise
think
line.
about
Not
it.
the rules as you go along.
No, I am, but I'm allowed to because it's my regular feature. Second one, I think that's important is escaping the agents in the hospital car park. He does a funny run there, and as he then, when he finally, he's trying to run for the agents, he gets caught. He gets Hannibal elected and escapes. And then as he leaves the Virginia Department of Transport, there's a proper funny run there. So he goes through some tunnels. And it comes out in the back of the offices. He's behind the desk of the Virginia Department of Transport. He does a funny run out of there. But and this is 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth one. This fourth one I wrote down in caps lock here because I think this is the genre-defining silly run. This is what started it all off. And that is the running through the Shanghai streets. Okay, now this was filmed in Zitang, which is on the outskirts of Shanghai, and the film crew used this amazing rig called a spider cam. So along the river, they had sort of 100 feet gaps. They look like telephone pylons, which they then ran cables between them. Hanging on these cables was this massive camera rig. With a guy in a control cabin with computers that could control not just the movement across, but the elevation up and down. They're like super duper versions of the cameras you see in the rugby when they're flying over the rugby players. And this thing was able to run along and trail along the river, over the river, whilst Ethan ran down between all the Chinese villages along the street, running to the second location in Shanghai, where he realizes he's not in the same place as Julia, and he has to run to another place. And Benji's giving him directions over the phone, isn't he, with the sat nav? And that is, when you look at him, that is the genre-defining, like slightly weird, kind of obsessive, creepy run that he has when his head never moves up and down, does it? His whole body's moving, but his head's perfectly like he's done a gyroscope. That is his, and that I think
but have you
is the genre-defining funny run. Of his.
Ever tried to sprint at that sort of speed?
No, never in my
I
life.
used to do it when I was at college because I was forever running for buses because I was always missing them, so I always had to run in order to intercept
never
the
run
bus,
for transport.
like 2
Just get
stops
next
away.
one. Yeah.
And so I would always miss it until when I saw Terminator 2 and I saw Robert Patrick's run as the T-1000 and I thought, let me try that. Expressionless, head fixed, just flipping run, move your arms and just like practically don't breathe. And you can run pretty fast doing that. Apparently Tom Cruise, at one point, he hit 16.2 miles an hour at his fastest.
Well, it's a 1,500
Obviously-
meter dash he's doing down that street apparently. So it's a bit of a distance he's got to do. He's a fit chap.
But I
isn't
mean,
he?
he's not. He wasn't doing 16 miles an hour like the
All the
whole
way
thing.
along.
It's impossible.
No.
But
Yeah.
his peak speed, he hit 60. It might have been kilometers an hour actually. come to think
Don't
of it.
forget, he
But it was
didn't do
16 something.
all-
It was pretty fast.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
but he didn't do that all the way because there's lots of like do a bit and then turn left.
Yeah,
then do a
yeah.
bit and turn left again, then turn left and then again left.
Simon Pegg does
he
mention
did.
that, he did feel like, he was really glad that he got his field, he passed the field test for Mission Impossible 4 because he felt like in Mission Impossible 3 he was basically Tom Cruise's personal sat nav.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he was actually interviewed after the success of Shaun of the Dead, and was asked whether he was going to be pursuing a career in Hollywood, and he laughed and said, "It's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3 or anything." And I think that's quite funny because obviously he as you said before, Abrams was around at the Saturn Awards, and he and Edgar Wright were there, and they got talking. So it's cool that they all linked up. But I think Pegg's a great casting, and he changes a lot through the films as well, doesn't he? You can see him changing, becoming much more kind of part of the crew. It's nice to see that.
It's nice. There is a funny moment in the running sequence where he almost runs into a lorry.
Yeah,
And then the lorry goes past, and he turns right, and then there's just a sea of people like walking on a street scene, and you just think, well, where the hell did the lorry come from?
yeah,
So there was some interesting cuts there.
yeah.
Anyway, that was just the one we picked up. Go on.
I remember reading
There's
somewhere
some
that
more.
where the lorry, where he puts his hand up and then like
That's
the
it.
thing stops right, but it actually hit him.
Oh, right.
I remember reading that in an interview, probably in Empire or something like that, around that sort of time. But apparently it did actually hit him. I need to probably go and fact check that.
Is that
I
when
seem to remember that being a thing?
Declan's driving that white Jeep, and he gets picked up again by them after he's left the rabbit? I think it's that scene when that vehicle stops right in front of him in the streets.
Oh,
of
sorry,
Shanghai.
yeah, in Shanghai. In Shanghai.
Where he then
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
hangs out the car and shoots onto the other car. Other vehicular happenings. So Maggie Q had to learn to drive for her scenes driving a Lamborghini. And apparently, when she went into Caserta Palace, in the dress she was wearing, she had really long high heels. And her high heels got stuck onto the accelerator. And I saw it on the extra features. The Lamborghini then drives and crashes into one of the parked cars in that yard. And they have to drag her
it's
out.
one of the
and,
Mercs.
yeah. So that's quite. It wasn't a massive smash. She just literally went and nudged it. It stopped. But yeah, that's interesting.
That was her excuse, and
That was her excuse.
But then
Yeah.
they had 5, so it wasn't. They weren't short on.
Yeah, well,
Lamborghinis.
one was just a shell that they packed with explosives for the explosion, didn't they, as well?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really. In fact, the scene where they're going down inside the Lamborghini into the manhole, they built that entire set elevated in a film set with the empty shell of the Lamborghini above. And so actually, where you can see Ving Rhames down below the car, he's standing underneath this massive set, which is above him, above ground. It's very clever. It's very cleverly put together. That the wonder of the magic of film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, speaking of magic, Alex,
Oh, don't
it's
oversell it.
time. No. Hang on a minute, John. Are you ready? Should we try again?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Go on. You start. I'll do the
Okay.
second part.
Okay.
Go on. Then. Now you're just doing the whole thing.
Where do you want me to stop?
I don't know. It's like, aren't there two? There's a bass and there's a melody, and then there's
What?
the singing.
Oh, I don't know. It's never right, is it? It's never right.
Alex,
It's never good enough for you,
Alex,
Bobby, is it?
please,
It's never good
just
enough.
put me out of my. Please start, Alex. Please start.
All right. Well, we've got a few. I got really caught up in the film, so if I've missed anything, please let me know. Because there was a point where I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I've got to write that down," and I had to stop and just go back a bit. Anyway, it's all right. They're having a bicker.
There's loads in here, eh, Alex?
Don't say that. There's a few.
Settle in, folks.
We've got the Kodak instant camera that
Oh, yeah.
hides a retinal scanner and the video.
That was
right
really
at the start. So that was cool. What I loved was the whole satellite imagery as well. They basically could read a number plate from 90 degrees up.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
all.
that was quite fun. I was like, oh yeah, okay, good luck with that. I've kind of skip ahead here. I skip ahead here to the retrieval mission where they've got to go and pick up Lindsay Farris. I love the use of the trackball on the sentry guns. That was quite cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a little red. That was nice. Completely unnecessary. They're a really poor way of navigating things. But anyway, what I found interesting was there was a bit where there was like a heat map.
The 3D sort of
So
X-ray
they
view.
basically just X-rayed the it was it was all infrared, wasn't it? But and then they basically went vascular imprint confirmed, and I'm like, what? so they could detect it from her blood. So I was like, okay, the pattern of your blood is that unique, yes, but doing it through a brick wall and stuff maybe a bit too much. I thought that the magnetic explosives had a real Inspector Gadget vibe to them, particularly when they just like threw it and then it just boom. Or if you've ever seen Joss Whedon's Dr. Horrible, that's another scene where Captain Hammer, not Captain Hammer, Dr. Evil goes throws a controller and it just kind of goes. So I thought that was quite fun. Anyway, the use of adrenaline was quite accurate, so that was good.
Very Pulp Fiction.
that, wasn't it? Yeah. It was really like eyes dilate and everything. So I was like, ooh. So that was good. I didn't go through all of the vehicles because there were so many, so I just would have lost count. But the defibrillator in the wind farm chase scene, that was good. And then we get onto the microdot, which was on the postcard. And they really milk that microdot, don't they?
It's magnetic, isn't it? Rather than
yeah. Well, this is the thing. They said, "Oh, is it like a normal microdot?" And they were like, "I don't know.
Blank.
I'll have to look into
it's blank.
it." Yeah, it's blank. And and then they come back later and go, "No, it was stored magnetically, like that."
Well, it's like the old cassette tapes, the old C90 cassettes.
Yes.
And they have the tape's ferrous, and the way information is stored is because it's magnetically aligned with the tape head. Yeah. So I presume that's what they've done with the microdot, and it just stores enough information for a video. I know.
Yeah, I just didn't get that. I was
really, really small magnets, Alex. Much smaller than on a C90 cassette. That's what it is.
Yeah, but like even smaller than that.
That can hold a full video file.
I love the bit they went, well, that means encryption then.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, encryption is the least of your troubles, dude.
Yeah.
What if you could sneeze and it'll be gone? So anyway, there we go. That's all fine. There was use of a ruggedized GTAC laptop. In
the one that got blown up.
So that was good. That got blown up. We had the portable printer, which I'm sure that Polaroid was quite interested in because they
for the Vatican scene.
That's in the Vatican scene where he goes, Humpty Dumpty goes on the wall. We had the laser measure for the Ascender, which I thought was quite cool. Nowadays, that's actually in your tape measure. If you've got
but also if you're a chartered surveyor, everyone's got one of those to measure the size of rooms.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So I've got one of those. So they're good little things. So that was good. I love the MI callback. I thought so. We see a few things, don't we? In the scene in the bathroom before the bathroom. So we see the 3D scanner and the cat with the blusher.
Yeah.
So she's got the I think it's blusher or concealer.
It's a compact, isn't it? It's a compact. She's got to open up.
Yeah. So she uses that to do that 3D scan, which I thought was particularly good. You're not going to argue with Maggie Q in that dress. So that was good. And then obviously you see the it being printed, which I thought was particularly good. I couldn't work this one out. One of the phones was so most people in the film have a Nokia N92 flip phone, which is, I mean, it's fine, but it felt like a prop for the film. It wasn't a particularly good phone, so I don't know quite why they used it. But anyway, but that was on about 3 or 4 times throughout the film, so I thought that was interesting. But there was also I couldn't find out whether it was an
The
Ericsson
Nokia
or
6170, I
something.
think, was the other phone.
61, was that the one with the stylus?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because there was one with a stylus, and I was like, that's not a communicator, because
Yeah.
and I was just like, it really threw me. So apologies, I've let everyone down. We had the camera dot that was a tracer that fired that little tracer dot that went onto
Yeah.
the manhole cover. That again,
A tiny
pretty
little
heavy.
aerial that pops up. It's dropped.
Yeah.
Tiny little aerial.
I don't really know what it achieved apart from
No.
telling them where to stop.
Oh, it's
You know,
it's
it's like,
allowing
it's that manhole.
no, it's allowing her to track the manhole and park over it perfectly in the car
Right. Okay.
in the Lamborghini.
I mean,
Yeah.
all right. I think it probably could have done that without having the dart camera thing. But anyway, it was fine. I loved the explosion with the Lamborghini. I just thought that was awesome. So I think that was worth a mention. What else do we have? Yeah.
Well-
So did I miss any? The other thing
Yes,
I've
you
got
did.
is the baseball gum. Yeah,
You've
go
missed
on.
out. You've missed out the exploding pellet in her brain.
Yeah, the exploding pellet in the brain.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
I
quite
thought that one
important
was
gadget.
given. Yeah, that is a pretty obvious one. The baseball gum, firing that as the decoy for when he was doing his fulcrum swing.
Oh yeah, that was quite good fun.
I thought that was great because it was very low tech. I was
It's
like,
a bowling
I was
machine,
like,
isn't it?
brilliant.
Basically. Yeah.
Boom. I was like, yeah, nice. So that's really good. And then there was phone tracing with what's his face, Simon Pegg, Benji, managing to work out exactly where everything was. But then by that point, it really got like way actiony and not very gadgety. Oh, that's what I felt anyway. Apart from your hold rewiring and testing it so you can electrocute yourself, which I thought was a nice touch. But yeah, other than that, it wasn't massive. At that point, it sort of dribbled off and we're back to action. Did I miss anything big?
It dribbled off is the name of your section.
Hey,
Oh,
we
there
got
we
it
go.
in.
Yeah, got it in.
I'm trying to think
All right,
what
I'm
else there
on to
is.
Coke now. So.
I mean, you could call the GR36 gun and a gadget that he uses on the bridge. There's the drone that flies
yeah.
over that's attacking the bridge. That's
Yeah, the
quite a
drone.
big gadget.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. There's a Motorola. It's the walkie-talkie he steals and then plays music through on them. The one he steals in the IMF place and holds down
Oh, yeah.
when he uses the voice change,
It's
the
a-
voice changer for
That's the.
Lawrence
no,
Fishburne's
no,
voice.
Yeah, that's Lawrence Fishburne.
It's a
That's
Motorola
DR.
DTR 650 walkie-talkie he
That's the one
steals.
with Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice touch actually, because
Yeah.
I was like, there was some bits. I think there was a lot in this film that it obviously it was quite gadget heavy, but then they always seemed to move things along. There was always a reason for them, and I thought that was a nice touch with the walkie-talkie and they using that as a way of getting rid of everyone. Yeah, so I that's what I spotted. It wasn't Apple heavy. In fact, there was no Apple products from what I could see. So that was an interesting one because normally it was previously it's been all Apple.
Don't remember any Apple.
I've stunned them. There was a PowerBook in.
Oh, yes.
There was a PowerBook in 1, and then there was a PowerBook in 2 as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually.
And that was it. They didn't do loads of Apple products. It all follows, so you'll see it in the upcoming ones. But yeah, so it was a pretty good one. I'm really looking forward to more Benji time.
Yeah.
I think that he will turn into our Mission Impossible's queue. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to more Benji time is also the name of your...
There we go. Nice, thank you for that. It's great. That's why my wife doesn't listen to this podcast.
Is that what she calls it, mate? Nice.
That's it. Just off to get my Benji time.
Anyway, thanks for that, Alex. We'll do some training offline on how you can make it sound a bit more riveting. Mission Impossible 3 critical reception and box office grossed $398 million worldwide against a budget of $150 million. Although it was very successful it underperformed compared to MI2 due to heavy competition and the lingering effects of Cruise's controversial media presence. See the Oprah Winfrey couch incident. If you remember, he was dating Katie Holmes around that time and proclaimed his love for her on national TV, and it was weird and awkward.
Wasn't there, Bobby? Wasn't there a South Park episode about his Scientology that had to be taken down as well? Because
Yeah,
because South Park are Viacom and Viacom are Paramount owned or something like that, and it was the same umbrella of as Mission Impossible, so they managed to basically force them to remove the episode. And it was a parody about his, I think they made references to Tom Cruise being homosexual in that episode as well. So
he was in the closet the whole episode.
yes, that's right. Yeah, there we go.
that was the gag, and then Cruise didn't see the funny side.
No, well,
So
I
he
can
was
see
just like,
why. To be fair,
yeah, so basically said if that airs, I'm going to quit, not do the promotion, which that was enough for.
Could have been financially
better do it then.
suicidal, couldn't it? Really, for
Yeah.
because this came out the same year as Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, didn't it? So that was another film that was competing against it. I'm trying to think what else was out that year that was big that was competing against. I know Mr. and Mrs. Smith came out the
Casino
year before,
Royale,
didn't
but I
it?
don't think it was Casino Royale. I think Superman Returns as well that summer. I want to
Yeah,
say
it could be.
Okay.
because that was
Yeah.
huge. Well, I mean, it was huge for me. That's the name of my sex tape.
Oh
Punched
dear.
myself in the dick there.
Oh,
Boo.
mate. Oh, dear, oh, dear. And there goes our monetization rights in one fell swoop. There we go.
Oh dear.
Dear, oh dear.
Oh, well.
So this is the episode that finally gets our dear friend Simon to stop listening. He's
Yeah.
going to leave the train.
Yeah, yes.
Um,
Oh dear.
unless you like those double deckers so much. The reviews were kind of weirdly mixed. And there's a couple there's one in particular that I want to read out to you. Roger Ebert on his show gave the film a marginal thumbs down, saying either you want to see mindless action and computer-generated sequences executed with breakneck speed and technical precision, or you don't. I'm getting to the point where I don't much care.
I do. I want to see that.
Yeah, I wanted to see that.
That's what I
Yeah,
wanted
it
to
was
see.
good.
Yeah, no, I did. That's what I wanted.
Okay, good. There we go. Always trust the Tailoring Talk Mag boys to put Roger Ebert in his place.
So Tom Cruise allegedly threatened to cancel publicity for the film if Comedy Central rebroadcasted the Trapped in the Closet, also known as Scientology episode, that satirises Scientology and mocks Cruise's sexuality. Comedy Central is owned by Viacom, which is the parent company of Paramount Pictures, and Mission Impossible 3 was distributed by them. The episode was indeed pulled off the air. Name of my sex tape. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, creators of South Park, said they were called by Comedy Central and told the episode was pulled off the air, and they were also told not to say anything to anybody about it. So obviously at some point it got
Which
out.
they
but,
did.
Yeah, which they did.
Yeah.
That's like red flag.
Here we are.
That is really. Yeah.
Ian Nathan of Empire said that MI3 has an inspired middle hour pumped by some solid action, but added, "We now live in a post-Bourne, recalibrated Bond universe where Ethan Hunt looks a bit lost." Little did he know, Ethan Hunt was only just getting started. Rob Nelson of the Dallas Observer said, "Abrams' movie is too oppressive, too enamored of its brutality to deliver anything like real thrills. Its deeply unpleasant tone nearly makes you long even for Mission Impossible 2 director John Woo's cartoon absurdities." So I don't know what
Nothing
that guy
makes
was
me long
thinking.
for Mission Impossible 2, Bobby, unfortunately.
No, me neither.
I've got to say, yeah, this is infinitely better than 2.
Yeah.
Like, so
Are we-
much so.
Are we looking back at this with rose-tinted glasses, though, a little bit, do you think? Now that we know how
Oh, yeah.
successful it's been with the following films, or...
No,
just-
because unlike you
is it
two, I'm
better?
able to compartmentalize. So I'm literally.
Thanks, Bobby.
I'm at. You're welcome. I'm at 2006. in my head with this, and
that's where you'll remain.
I'm not even thinking about all of the ones that are going to come next. So there you go.
See,
and that brings us.
I've got luxury because I
tenuously-
don't think I've seen the rest.
What?
I don't think I've seen the rest.
Did you just
Maybe
not
I
see
should
them
have
after
told-
2?
No, I didn't see them after 2. I think I can't remember 3, but maybe I saw 3, but I haven't seen 4, 5, and 6.
Holy moly!
Maybe I should have shared this when we were talking about like the best people to get on the podcast.
No, but this is good.
Maybe
This is good. You're seeing this with fresh eyes. That's going to be really interesting. No, I
Yeah,
like this.
so there's a couple things there. So this is a bit like the Bondathon, where I hadn't seen half the Roger Moore films and all of the Sean Connery ones, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was like the sort of fresh-eyed, doe-eyed baby for the Bondathon. So this is really cool. So it'll be really
Okay.
really interesting with what's coming up.
We've got to be careful, Bobby, then,
Alex.
because a couple of times I've hinted at what's going to happen next. I didn't realise.
Oh,
That's
but,
fine.
yeah.
It's
So
okay.
you've got to be careful now. We have got to
I've seen the
compartmentalise for the
IMDb,
sake
so I
of
can't.
Alex, Yeah.
Okay, so let's and the second thing, Alex, is that it wasn't a committee about who were the best people to bring onto the podcast. We were the only ones.
That's true.
There's no
there
audition,
weren't
was
many
there?
choices.
Let's be honest.
This is the right stuff right here.
That's true.
So, on to ratings.
Okay, I'll get my spreadsheet out. Hold on.
Let's.
Here we go.
Okay.
Ooh.
Alex.
Already?
Alex, Mission Impossible 3.
What did I give the last one?
You gave
I
him
gave the last one
5.
5. Yeah. No. So honestly, I'm going to give this one a 9. I'm going to give it because of.
So interesting because he doesn't know what's coming next.
I
I'm going to
know.
give it because of the acting.
He's going to snooker it. He's going to snooker himself.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's what you're waiting for, isn't it? That's what you're waiting for. I'm going to give it a 9 because it was very good.
Go for it.
It was really compelling to watch, and I needed that as a clearing my palate from the second one. So I feel suitably cleansed now. So we'll have to see what the next one comes up with.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm excited now. More to see what Alex is going to make of the
Now you're going to be
films coming
stuck.
up.
Now you're going to be like, is it or is it not better than the
No,
number
we're not.
3?
We're not going to do that to you. Okay, thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Shut up now, John.
Well, I'm going to give it an 8 because I think it's a high rating film. It's the beginning of the best of the best. Michelle Monaghan puts the score up by at least 2 straight away, and then you've got Maggie in there as well. I mean, it's, as I said before, it's a 2-hour film that feels like a 90-minute film. I think Cruise is very compelling in this, actually, and it's great to see the beginnings. I mean, I don't want to say too much for spoiling it for Alex, but seeing the team starting here, it kind of gives me the warm, fuzzy feeling, and it really makes me look forward to watching the rest of this film. Now I know what I'm, going with. So yeah, that's an 8 for me.
Nice.
What about
Cool.
you, Bobby?
So the MacGuffin thing bothers me still.
The rabbit's foot.
Yeah, but I do recognise this was a very well made movie. But it just in my gut, it feels like a solid 7
Okay, 7 it is.
point, maybe 5, 7.5, 7.
5?
Feels like it's a solid 7.
Solid 7. Okay.
It's a solid 7,
Right.
and that's not based on what I know's coming, and trying to leave myself a lot of headroom. But spoiler alert, Alex. Sorry. But I think it is a solid 7. It's a fantastic directorial debut by J.J. Abrams. The film looks gorgeous. It's really, really well acted. Actually, no, I'm going to give it 7.5. 7.5.
Okay.
So it was very good. Yeah,
Now,
it was definitely better than number 2. It's not hard. And it was kind of about on a par. I don't know what I gave the first
gave it
one,
an 8.
but it's on
First
about a
one, an
par.
8.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, 7.5 feels pretty good.
Do we have any tenuous links to this film that we can think of? Did you tell anybody on the film set a dodgy computer at any point, Bobby?
Not on this one, no.
Do you have any hand in making clothes for anything in this film?
No.
Okay,
I
so
did like his he wore a brown suede bomber for most of the movie,
yeah,
and I really, really like it. So I'm thinking about maybe recreating it for myself.
I'm going to say Bobby makes a bomber as our tenuous link that you've been inspired by the film. It's very, very tenuous indeed, that, but there we go. Just so we have something
We'll
in that
work
box
harder
there.
next time.
So that's
Yeah.
so far we've got the total score so far. Mission Impossible 1 was 25. Mission Impossible 2, a bit of a squib at 18. And running ahead by another many, many points is Mission Impossible 3 at 29.5, 29.5. So Mission Impossible 3 is our
good.
highest scoring film so far.
That
That's
sounds
quite
about right.
respectable.
I mean,
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
what's going to fall down here is if we lose any of the running scenes, because the running scenes are probably up the ratings here, but we'll see what happens. I don't feel hopeful about any more cruise schmoozes either in the films. So maybe we'll have
Yeah.
a Benji schmooze at some point, who knows? But I couldn't possibly say, Alex, to spoil it for you, but there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say I'd look forward to that, but I'm not sure about it. Anyway, guys,
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah.
There we go. Legacy and impact. The film successfully reset the franchise, setting the stage for the critically acclaimed Ghost Protocol and beyond. It introduced Benji Dunn, a character who became a staple of the series, and the increased focus on Ethan's personal life influenced later entries, making Mission Impossible as much about character as it was about spectacle. That wraps up our deep dive into Mission Impossible 3. This movie marked a turning point for the franchise, bringing in a new level of emotional depth, intense action sequences, and of course, one of the best villains ever in the series. In Davian, played by the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman, may he rest in peace, taken too
Great
soon
loss.
from us. What do you think? Does MI3 still hold up after all these years? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode as we continue our Mission Impossible deep dive. You can also follow us on Instagram at Tailoring Talk Magazine. And you can also listen to the audio version of the podcast. Vice versa, if you're listening to the audio version, you can also watch the video version on the YouTube channel. And please don't forget to leave us a rating and a review. It helps more listeners to find the show. Thanks for watching. Thank you, John and Alex. Have you had fun?
Always.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's been a mission
Brilliant.
possible with you, Bobby.
Oh,
Mission
thanks.
achieved.
Thank you. You can leave me a tip now if you want on our own channel, guys. Sorry,
Don't wear
leave us a
plaid
tip.
with polka
We can leave
dots.
us a tip.
Yeah, nice try, mate. It's going to go into
Right.
Bobby's
Thank
bomber
you.
jacket fun, boys and girls. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to get started on that this week, actually. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time when we tackle Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. In the meantime, stay safe. Always stay stylish. And remember, if you choose to accept this mission, make sure you've got a solid escape plan. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have you guys worn yourselves
I'm done
out?
now.
You've got nothing that you want to say now. You're done. Anything you need to get off your chest?
I think a little heads up that we were going to do a two-parter there because we were a little bit thrown and confused halfway through. A tad. We worked it out fairly quickly, Bobby. But
No one would know, but you didn't tell us at
Look,
all.
here's the problem, right? Okay, is that I was
Just
looking at the
running length.
timer and we'd gone over an hour and we weren't even near halfway
Yeah, no.
through the damn film, and I thought to myself,
Yeah, that's fair.
I
was
don't
that
want to
an
edit
executive
another
decision
2
on the
hours.
fly? That's a good idea. I thought it was a good idea.
It was on the fly. Yeah, yeah.
Does
I
that
just
mean
thought
we
you
can
were
put
gonna
these
just
out
press
a
the
week
button.
after and get the good kind of pick up each week? We get two
Yeah,
for the price of one.
probably.
Don't
I
we?
was also
Yeah.
I was trying to noodle you guys into giving some juicy, your after bloopers things that you guys do, but you've just effed it up. So I'm just going to stop recording now, and you
I can't-
must do
I don't know
better
what you
next
bought
time.
Okay,
Okay?
I'll try and think of something less anxious to say next time. Okay.
Stop giving away technical behind the scenes secrets about me getting fed up with you two rambling on
All right,
on the hour mark.
Mr. Monetized.
Well, I mean, if people are still, if these aren't going to
Excuse
be at
me,
any
we,
point,
where you, Mr. Monetized, you, Mr. Monetized.
if this
We're
little
all Mr.
argument's going to get
Monetized.
added to the channel somewhere, I'd like to point out that if you are an audio listener, people who are still listening to this blooper, and not a video watcher, you'll be pleased to know that if you do watch the video, at some point during this video podcast, Bobby flipped the bird at me several times, and I held my own there. I didn't react. Oh, he's doing it again now.
Didn't say anything. That's great. That'll be the thumbnail.
There we go.
It means something different where I come from.
That's it.
Right.
It does not.
Well, does
Yeah.
it?
I come from
It's all
Croydon.
good.
Right,
Yeah.
bye-bye.